The Mayan calendar, a timekeeping system so precise it predicted celestial events thousands of years in advance. But was it the product of human ingenuity or something more extraterrestrial?
Whoa, that's quite an opening statement. Are you suggesting the Mayans had help from aliens in creating their calendar?
Well, that's one theory we'll be exploring today. The Mayan calendar has long fascinated researchers and conspiracy theorists alike due to its incredible accuracy and complexity. We're talking about a system that rivals our modern understanding of astronomy, created by a civilization that flourished from 2000 BCE to the 16th century.
That's pretty impressive. But what makes this calendar so special compared to other ancient timekeeping methods?
Great question. The Mayan calendar isn't just one calendar, but three interlocking cycles working together. You've got the Tzolk'in, the Haab, and the long count. Each one serves a unique purpose and operates on a different scale. The Tzolk'in, for instance, is a 260-day ceremonial calendar that combines 20 named days with 13 numbers. It was deeply spiritual and guided everything from religious ceremonies to agricultural planning.
A 260-day calendar? That's quite different from our standard 365-day year. How did they use it in practice?
Well, it was primarily used for spiritual and divinatory purposes. The Maya believed that each day had its own character and energy, influenced by the combination of the day name and number. This cycle was crucial for determining auspicious days for various activities, from planting crops to waging war.
So it was more than just keeping track of time. It was a guide for daily life and decision-making. What about the other two calendars you mentioned?
Exactly. The second calendar, the Haab, is more similar to our solar calendar. It has 365 days divided into 18 months of 20 days each, plus a short month of 5 nameless days called Wayeb. This one was all about tracking seasonal changes and agricultural cycles. But the real showstopper was the long count. This is where things get really interesting.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What makes the long count so special?
Imagine a calendar that starts from a mythical creation date, August 11th, 3114 BCE, and can measure vast periods spanning millennia. We're talking about units like the Baktun, which is 144,000 days, and the Katun, which is 7,200 days. It's almost impossible to wrap your head around the scale.
That's mind-blowing. It's hard to imagine an ancient civilization thinking in terms of such vast time periods. How did they even come up with this system?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's where some pretty wild theories come into play. In the mid-20th century, writers like Erich von Däniken started popularizing the idea that ancient civilizations might have been influenced by extraterrestrial beings. The Mayan calendar, with its astronomical precision and alignment with celestial events, became a focal point for these theories.
Hold on. Are you saying some people believe aliens helped create the Mayan calendar? That sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
I know it sounds far-fetched, but hear me out. Proponents of this theory point to several aspects of Mayan culture and knowledge that they find difficult to explain through conventional means. For instance, the Mayas' astronomical mastery. They could predict solar eclipses and chart planetary movements with incredible accuracy. They even mapped out the intricate cycle of Venus.
Well, that is impressive for an ancient civilization. But couldn't that just be the result of careful observation over many generations?
That's certainly one explanation, and it's the one most scientists favor. But there are other elements that fuel the alien intervention theory. Take the celestial alignment of Mayan monuments, for example. The El Castillo Pyramid at Chichen Itza is perfectly aligned with the equinoxes. This kind of precision suggests a profound understanding of the cosmos that some argue goes beyond mere observation.
I can see why that might raise some eyebrows. Are there any other pieces of evidence that the alien theory proponents point to?
Actually, yes. They often cite Mayan creation myths as potential evidence. The Popol Vuh, their creation narrative, talks about gods descending from the heavens to shape humanity. Some people interpret these gods as extraterrestrial beings, imparting wisdom.
That's an interesting interpretation. But couldn't those stories just be metaphorical, like many other creation myths around the world?
Absolutely, and that's exactly what most scholars argue. The alien intervention theory is certainly compelling, but it faces significant challenges from skeptics and scientists. They argue that the Mayan calendar's accuracy comes from generations of meticulous observation and recording of celestial patterns.
That makes sense. I mean, if you spend centuries watching the sky and passing down that knowledge, you're bound to notice patterns and make accurate predictions eventually.
Exactly. And it's important to remember how deeply integrated the calendar was into Mayan culture. It wasn't just about tracking time. It dictated religious rituals, agricultural practices, and even political events. French anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss once noted that ancient myths and rituals often reflected a society's intimate relationship with its environment. The Mayan calendar is a perfect example of this principle.
So you're saying it evolved naturally out of necessity and cultural priorities? That does seem more plausible than alien intervention.
It does, doesn't it? But here's the thing. Despite these scientific explanations, the allure of alien influence persists. It's like we can't quite let go of the idea that there might be something more to it. Events like the 2012 phenomenon only fuel that fascination.
Oh, right. I remember that. Wasn't there a whole doomsday prediction based on the Mayan calendar?
Exactly. Many people thought the world was going to end on December 21st, 2012, because it marked the end of a major cycle in the long count calendar. Of course, scholars clarified that it just marked the end of a cycle, not an apocalypse, but the event reignited global interest in Mayan timekeeping and its origins.
It's amazing how these ancient mysteries continue to capture our imagination, even in the modern age. Do you think there's any middle ground between the alien theory and the purely human achievement explanation?
That's an interesting question. Some researchers propose a middle ground, suggesting that while the Mayan calendar was likely a human achievement, we might be underestimating the capabilities of ancient civilizations. They argue that our ancestors may have had forms of knowledge and understanding that we've lost or don't fully appreciate.
That's an intriguing perspective. It reminds me of the debates surrounding other ancient achievements, like the construction of the pyramids or the creation of elaborate cave paintings.
Exactly. It's part of a larger conversation about the capabilities of ancient civilizations and how we interpret archaeological evidence. The Mayan calendar, regardless of its origins, is a powerful reminder of the incredible achievements of our ancestors.
It certainly is. So, after all this discussion, where do you stand on the origin of the Mayan calendar? Human ingenuity or alien intervention?
Personally, I lean towards human ingenuity. The gradual development of astronomical knowledge over generations, combined with the cultural and religious significance of timekeeping in Mayan society, seems to me the most plausible explanation. But I think the value of this mystery isn't necessarily in finding a definitive answer.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I think the real value is in how it keeps our sense of wonder and curiosity alive. It encourages us to question, to explore, and to remain open to possibilities. Whether you believe in alien intervention or not, the Mayan calendar reminds us that there's still so much we don't know about our past and our place in the universe.
That's a great point. It's not just about the calendar itself, but about what it represents. The human drive to understand and measure the world around us.
Exactly. And as we wrap up today's episode, I can't help but think about all the other mysteries out there waiting to be explored. The Mayan calendar is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, this has been a fascinating discussion. Any final thoughts before we close?
Just this. Whether you believe the Mayan calendar was a product of human ingenuity or cosmic intervention. I think we can all agree that it's a testament to the human spirit of inquiry and our endless fascination with the cosmos. It reminds us to keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep our minds open to all possibilities.
Well said. And on that note, we'll have to leave it there for today. Thanks for joining us on Extraterrestrial Mysteries, where we explore the extraordinary and the unexplained.
And remember, the truth is out there. Or maybe it's right here on Earth, hidden in the achievements of our ancestors. Either way, we'll keep searching. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the infinite possibilities of our universe.